Greetings and welcome back to the channel. Glad you're here today. We're going to talk about the forthcoming April 2025 Record Store Day, specifically the jazz titles, as it were. The last Record Store Day, in my experience, was a total bomb. Now, I judge that by what happens at the Jazz Record Center when I work on Saturdays. I'm never there on Record Store Days. Thank God, because the last time I was, there was literally a line outside. But most of the titles just bombed, except for the Bill Evans titles. We still have all the titles. Well, we don't have the Charles Tolliver title anymore, but it's my feeling that maybe people are a little tired of paying $80 for a 3 LP set of music they don't know. Like the Emily Remler was a great set, and she plays wonderfully on it, but I thought the band she played with was subpar. Now, as a musician, you want to play with people as good as you or better. But she was at that part of her career where she was probably using pickup bands. And back then, when that was cut, which I think was sometime in the late 70s, mid 80s, I don't know, I forgot when she died, pickup bands were not like they are today. The level of musicianship now is so high because kids grow up watching videos. When I was a musician, we're getting off the topic here, or a child, there was no video. There wasn't any. You had to transcribe records. You'd move the needle back and forth, or you tape it and try to figure out a way to slow it down. But now they see everything done, and when you can see it, you become a master technician a lot quicker. Anyway, so that record really didn't make it for me. I think you'd be better served to find old Emily Remler records on Concord, where she uses great bands. We still have plenty of the Sunrise. We have plenty of the Emily Remlers, and it was just like a dud. So I don't know. But in saying that, this Record Store Day has some fantastic titles. Some great artists, starting with Almost Blue, +2, Chet Baker, in celebration of the 30th anniversary and Blu-ray release of the iconic documentary film Let's Get Lost, which, if you have not seen, is just a fantastic documentary shot by Bruce Weber, who I think was a fashion photographer turned cinematographer. That is a beautiful documentary of Chet Baker. And they dress him up really well, and they have him visiting his children, which is really, really strange. But this is a 12-inch 45 RPM teaser for a double LP set coming in May 2025, featuring several never-heard songs and never-heard performances, and all never-heard performances, so I would love to hear that. I'm somebody that thinks that Chet Baker actually improved near the end of his life. His records on Steeplechase, there's about 4 of them, are just fantastic. His sound is so beautiful. Doesn't play fast. And this really surprised me. Best of the Roulette years, Count Basie and his orchestra. It's a Rhino LP, so we know it'll sound good. A brand new collection of Count Basie's biggest hits from the Roulette catalog, featuring Splanky, Flight of the Foo Birds, and 1 O'Clock Jump, pressed on moss green vinyl. A couple weeks ago, I was going through big band LPs, specifically Count Basie LPs, trying to find the ones that sounded really great. And the 2 I have on Roulette, Easin' It and Something Else, sound fantastic. The older ones on Verve, they're using like a 1 mic, I think, or 1 mic over each section. And they sound far away and distant, but the ones on Roulette, man, those are incredibly dynamic, incredibly natural LPs. If you see one, pick it up. They're really great. So this should be great. I'm really surprised they're doing it because, Count Basie, Duke Ellington are generally ignored on Record Store Day in favor of Sun Ra. That's another story. Nathan Davis, Happy Girl. This is interesting. This is an MPS reissue. As I've said many times on my channel, MPS records are categorically, uniformly fantastic. In my best pickup used records of 2024, I showed a couple Art Van Dam records, and they sound great. I mean, the Art Van Dam records have Daniel Umar and Eberhard Weber on bass, because these guys were regularly recording at the MPS studio in the Black Forest. The sound is uniformly fantastic. MPS started a reissue campaign years ago, then it just stopped. But even the reissue sounded pretty great. So this should be interesting. Hasn't been available on vinyl for decades. Recorded in 1965 when Nathan Davis lived in Europe, working with Kenny Clarke, Eric Dolphy, Elvin Jones, and Art Blakey. On Happy Girl, he's accompanied by Woody Shaw on trumpet, Larry Young on piano, Jimmy Wood, and drummer Billy Brooks. So this should be really fantastic. 12-inch LP, gatefold. This is another potentially great record from residents, and I assume Zev Feldman. Kenny Dorham, Blue Bossa in the Bronx, live from Blue, Morocco. Never before released recording of the jazz trumpet icon. Captured at the Blue Morocco Jazz Club in the Bronx in 1967. This should be fantastic. Sonny Red, Cedar Walton, Paul Chambers, and Dennis Charles. Transferred from the tape reels. Limited edition 2 LP set. Mastered by Matthew Luthans at the Mastering Lab. Pressed at Levinalist. And the usual many interviews from Zev Feldman. You know, a few months ago, everyone was very excited to get this new Joe Henderson, McCoy Tyner, Jack DeJohnette, the bass player's name just escaped me, that recording, which performance-wise is incredible. It's a 2 LP set. These guys are burning at the top of their game. DeJohnette driving McCoy Tyner, driving Joe Henderson. That is a wonderful record. Unfortunately, the sound quality is shit. But you can overlook that because the playing is so fantastic. So I'm wondering if this gig recorded at a club in the Bronx in 67 might also sound like shit. I don't know. You have to categorize for you what matters. Performance, sound. If you have to have like the most beautiful sound all the time, you're going to be out of luck. Even though in saying that, all the Bill Evans records that Zev has put out sound fantastic, except the one at Ronnie Scott's, because those were taken from European board tapes. So I'm a little curious how this is going to sound. At least it's only 2 LPs, so it's not going to be obscenely priced. This is another, the next Bill Evans release on Elemental, 2 LPs. Further Ahead live in Finland, 1964-1969. Includes all the usual interviews with all the usual celebrated folks. This one includes Eddie Gomez and Marty Morell, which is a fantastic band. Vinyl master for Matthew Luthans, so I'm sure it's going to sound fantastic. That's a winner. So that's it right off the bat. The Basie, the Nathan Davis, the Bill Evans, that's pretty remarkable. And then on the Prestige Elite label, the girl from Ipanema, Astrud Gilberto, I don't know what to think about. There's no information really. Most of her records are on Verve, so I don't really know what this is. Yet another Charlie Brown record, Vince Guaraldi Trio, Jazz Impressions of a Boy Named Charlie Brown on Kraft. It'll sound fantastic. Highlights from the new expanded edition of the Vince Guaraldi Trio's Jazz Impressions of a Boy Named Charlie Brown. You know, I love the original Charlie Brown Christmas, but I'm a little gagged to death with the endless Charlie Brown reissues, endless Vince Guaraldi reissues. They are milking that cow dry. You know, but if you dig Vince Guaraldi, maybe that's okay. I mean, he was a great artist and performer beyond the Charlie Brown stuff. What was his big hit before that? Anyway, he's a great player, great composer, great arranger, but I'm just a little tired of all the Charlie Brown stuff. Maybe you're not. This is interesting. We don't make to make of this. John Lee Hooker, The Chariot Sessions. The full October 69 recordings from Studio Charcot in Paris. Never been released in their entirety. John Lee Hooker with Lowell Fulson, Carrie Bell, S.P. Leary, electrifying blues and boogie tracks in a single. 3 LP set. Alert, alert, alert. 3 LP set. Probably going to cost $80. Give me a freaking break. It's just, you know, I hate to do this rant over and over again, but go to a record store. Don't always just sit there tapping shit on your computer. It'll be interesting to hear. This is on the Southern Echoes label. 3 LP. I see 3 LP and I just want to run for the hills. Who's going to listen to 3 LPs on a long-term basis? I just don't, you know, why they think they have to reissue everything in its entirety. I guess so they can say it's being reissued in its entirety. Now here's what I'm really looking forward to, because this guy doesn't get enough attention or coverage, definitely from Record Store Day. Freddie Hubbard, On Fire, live from the Blue Morocco. So this is the same club as the Kenny Dorham thing. Never before released recording. 67 in the Bronx. Benny Maupin, Kenny Barron, Herbie Lewis, and Freddie Waits. A killer band. Matthew Luthans again, Mastering Lab. Pressed the Levinalist. Has all the has liner notes by Shannon J. Effinger. She did the liner notes to, I think, the Dorothy Ashby box. Fantastic writer. I really like her work. And then interviews with all the usual famous suspects. How many? 3 LP set. 3 LP set. Now, if you have a night to spare and it sounds fantastic and you love it, 3 LPs is great. I love Freddie Hubbard. Freddie Hubbard almost seems forgotten these days. Have any of Freddie Hubbard's great records been redone as tone poets? Like, I don't think so. Breaking Point was a Music Matters, and Freddie Hubbard was fantastic. When VSOP got together and Miles didn't want to do it, they got Freddie Hubbard. Freddie Hubbard was the modern reincarnation of Dizzy Gillespie, really. With the fire of a Woody Shaw, the lyricism of a Lee Morgan. He made great records on CTI. He deserves coverage, so I would love to hear this. It's on Resonance, another Zev Feldman product, obviously. There's another thing. This is interesting. On Resonance, 3 LPs, 3 LP alert. 3 LP alert, let's charge you $80. Charles Mingus in Argentina, the Buenos Aires concerts from 77. I love Charles Mingus. I don't think you'll never have enough Charles Mingus. He's an entire world unto himself to explore. Another Matthew Luthen's project. This band includes Ricky Ford, Jack Walrath, Robert Nellums, Danny Richmond. So it's a quartet. Well, that's fascinating. It's a quartet. And then another Charles Mingus record, which comes in and out of print. Mingus at Monterey. This is the official reissue. I'm not sure what that means. I've seen plenty of reissues. Oh, it's the official reissue with the Charles Mingus estate. 2-disc set. Thank God, 2-disc set. Remastered by 5-time Grammy Award-winning engineer Michael Graves. Who? With lacquers cut by Jeff Powell. Who? The tour de force performance from 1964 Monterey Jazz Festival captures Mingus at the top of his form, out of print for more than 40 years. Landmark recording was originally released on Mingus' own short-lived mail-order label. It has been available otherwise, but this one will definitely have excellent sound quality. Joni Mitchell, which I think is interesting. I think Joni Mitchell's a jazz artist. She's a great artist. Live in 1976. Rhino, 3 LP alert. Features Joni's live performances with the LA Express on a national headline tour in 1976. So that means Tom Scott, perhaps Wilton Felder, Joe Sample, the great John Guerin on drums. Culled from hours of unreleased content into a 3 LP offering. Available on vinyl for the first time. Dane County Coliseum, Madison, Wisconsin. Let's see what that sounds like. I don't know. This is one that a lot of people are very happy about, and I am, because the original issue sounds like crap. Thelonious Monk live at the IT Club. Legacy Recordings. Woohoo! Legacy is back. Finally, Sony Legacy gets in the game. They're ignoring everything else in the world except Miles reissues, and they're not even doing that anymore. So thank God. I'm looking forward to hearing this. Include classic performances of Straight No Chase around midnight, remastered from the original analog tapes at 24 high bits. So this is pressed from the files. But if you're familiar with all the Legacy CD box sets of the 2000s, the Miles Legacy box sets, they sound fantastic. Beautiful packaging. As I've said before, back in the day, you only had Japanese boxes, and they were the standard to meet. And Legacy stepped up their game and definitely met that standard. So that recording, a CBS Masterworks reissue back in the day, was very echoey and didn't sound great. So this will sound great. And Monk at the IT Club, I think Chris Lightcap, that's one of his favorite records. So it should be fantastic. I'm smoked about that. And speaking of smoking, Wes Montgomery, Wynton Kelly Trio, a Resonance LP, Smokin' in Seattle, live at the Penthouse, another Penthouse gig from Zev Feldman, or is that Corey Weeds? 1966 with Ron McClure, drummer Jimmy Cobb, Wynton Kelly. This is a great jazz recording, maybe one of the greatest live jazz recordings of all time. Backed by popular demand from RSD 2017, this record is getting a second pressing with new front and back cover artwork. Matthew Luthen's Mastering Lab, the vinylist. So if you're a fan of Wes, and if you're not, you should be, and you don't have this, this is a great one to get. Now this is an interesting record. Pharoah Sanders, Izipho Zam, My Gifts. Now this is a record on Strata East that Fred has auctioned in the store and goes for big money. It's got that weird framed cover. Recorded in 69 at Town Sound Studios. This should sound fantastic. Transferred from the original tapes at 96, 192, 24-bit resolution, so it's cut from the digital files by Kevin Gray at Coherent. So this is probably going to sound exceptional. I'm excited about that. Archie Shepp, Fullman Ensemble, the complete live in Antibes. And that was originally on the BYG label. I believe that's it. A label which totally ripped off all the artists. So this is on LMLR. What could that possibly stand for? I have no idea. Deluxe 2 LP package. And these are really outside performances, avant-garde performances with Archie Shepp. Surprise, surprise. Those come in and out of our store. There are definitely reissues of that available. Restored and remastered from the original master tapes. Restored means it's gone through digital cleanup. Remastered from the original master tapes. We don't know who did this work. So I'm not quite sure about this one, Archie Shepp, the complete live in Antibes. Sun Ra and Modern Harmonic. Modern Harmonic is a great label. They do a lot of rock and roll, really a lot of cool reissues. They put a lot of work into their covers. Sun Ra, Stray Voltage, pressed on frosted orange vinyl, 2 LPs, Audacious, Aggressive, Adventurous. It seems, along with Bill Evans, they're reissuing Sun Ra records every record store day, but people love Sun Ra. I like him. Some of it's amazing, some of it puts me to sleep. But if you're a Sun Ra fan, you might really be into that. And then finally, Sun Ra, Nuits de la Foundation Mit. Deluxe edition on Strut, which I think of as a dance label. Legendary recordings within his extensive canon. 2 nights in August 1970. The first concerts Ra and the orchestra have performed outside North America. Formed part of a stellar festival lineup. Originally released on Shandar in 1971. The concerts are now being reissued by Strut in a stunning expanded 6 LP set. For Record Store Day, holy moly, set is housed in a hardboard box and features a reprint of the original festival program. A 6 LP set, that's going to cost hundreds of dollars. It better feature a piece of Sun Ra's circumcised foreskin. I mean, what the heck, man? 6 LPs? Labels seem to think that, yeah, let's just reissue everything. Let's see if there's any sound in the bathroom when the drummer was taking a wee, and we can include that as extra ambient tracks never before released. Anyway, I'm very excited about Monk at the It Club, the Freddie Hubbard, the Count Basie, the Nathan Davis, the Kenny Dorham, the Blue Morocco, I don't know, sound problems. Another Freddie Hubbard at the Blue Morocco. I don't know what to expect. These live club things, you just don't know. Excited about both of the Mingus reissues. And I'm excited about the Pharoah Sanders Izipho Zam. Thanks for watching. Please return. Click and like. If you want to chat with Ma, email moi. We'll do it.